I've been using this bike for the last 5 years, very much as you see it here. Last 4 years I've been using it on my tours. I take it in the back of my van, I live in the van, and I travel and cycle. I usually pull up somewhere and then use that as a base to explore and to see what there is in the locality. Enjoy it, try to understand it. I'm very mystified by many people considering spending thousands of pounds on a bicycle. This bicycle I bought for £100 and it replaced a bicycle that I had previously which had cost over £1,200. I bought it used, and what I found was they're nicked, and that's the problem with an expensive bike. If you're touring an area, that you're vulnerable to people who recognise it for being an expensive item. It really detracts and causes anxiety when you're away. The bike is very much a basic. The drive mechanism on it is a chain, and again something which mystifies me is why people want to spend vast amounts of money on something which is different to a chain. I use mud guards and a very generous mud flap on the front wheel which stops dirt and water being thrown onto the chainring and the bottom bracket. It extends the life considerably, many times. This chain has been on the bicycle for 3 years and I've used it extensively. It is wearing. The chain needs replacing. I'll replace the middle chain ring and I'll replace the rear cassette. Now the whole cost of that I can't see would exceed £50–60 for good quality componentry. I find it mystifying why people would buy a drive belt to extend that life when you already have something which is proven durability. People have been using chain-driven bicycles for touring the world ever since the bicycle was invented. And now we've got a better mousetrap. It will supersede everything that's come before. Yeah, at a cost and with complication. Consider before you spend a vast amount of money, why not just do it as simple as possible and as cheaply as possible? It's a small return, if any, to spend a lot more money than you need to. But there we are. Horses for courses. But there are a lot of good touring bikes out there, a lot of good bicycles which are cheap. They're not expensive. You can go to used. And if a used bike is cheap enough, well then you can go through and replace the drive componentry. The rear wheel on the bicycle I replaced for £50. And when I look at what's available for a rear wheel, the rim's warped because it's a friction braking on the back. I was gobsmacked at what people are paying and hoping to achieve more from. Well, you're better off just buying two. That wheel, a cheap machine-made wheel, has been remarkably good, and I've had 2 years from that. And that's with a lot of off-road riding. So we've got the abrasion on the braking surfaces. But goodness me, it's so simple and cheap. It's just really an alternative view. Instead of spending more, spend less. The returns are still the same. Enjoyment. It's getting out and using it. Hope that's an alternative, perhaps something you might consider. Thank you.